Students and our old student. We are so happy to be with you in a new episode from your program مدرسة على الهواء. We are also so happy to be with Mr. Mahmoud, one of the best science teacher in Egypt. Welcome Mr. محمد.
Welcome Mr. وائل. طبعا welcome all students in this year and the first episode after we start our studies in this year, third prep for science for first term.
Let's start with making some revision about what we explained last time. This curriculum starts with motion, and the motion is related to physics. Motion is the first lesson in this year. So what's motion? Motion is a change in object's position. I ask every student to close your eye, but after taking a photo of me, this is my position of my hand. Did you close your eyes? Thank you. Now, open your eyes. What happened to my hand? What happened to my arm? Its position changes. So, did I do motion? Yes, very good. I heard someone said yes. I did motion. So, what's meant by motion? A change in the object's position. But if my arm here is here at 5 o'clock, exactly 5 o'clock, can it be here 5 o'clock? No. It must be here maybe at 5 o'clock and 1 second or 2 seconds. That means the time passed. So motion is a change in object's position as time passes. According to fixed point, it's called frame of reference. Okay, this is the definition of motion. But how can we measure motion? Mr. Muhammad, how can we measure motion?
Okay, as we have here to know in this episode, how can we deal with motion? As Mr. Wa'il said before, motion is changed in the object position as time passes. So here we have to know how can we recognize the motion. As a definition, we have object in this place, and this object will change its place to another position. So here we have motion here. So this object change its position according to or relative to another object as time passes. يعني بالنسبة لجسم تاني as we going forward toward مثلا mirror or toward the door. So you make a motion in this case. As we have here on the monitor, we can deal with motion as unit 1, lesson 1, motion in one direction. زي ما احنا شايفين هنا قدامنا ده الفيرست lesson عندنا في المنهج. طبعا as we have here, what is meant by motion is the change of the object's position as time passes. As we have here, we have object in this or was in this point as point A here, and this object change its position and going to point B as you see here. So this object or this player change its position as time passes. يعني غير مكانه بمرور الزمن. يبقى هنا we have time passes. At the same time we have change in the position. يبقى عندي حاجتين to recognize the motion of any object, change position, and at the same time as time passes. طيب, we have here first give reason in our curriculum this term. We have movement of train considered as example of motion in one direction. طبعا how can we answer this question? We can pick an answer. Your answer from the question. يعني ازاي? How يعني هنا بيقول لي movement of train, maybe movement of metro مثلا considered as a motion or examples of motion in one direction. So we can answer according to this word, one direction. يعني بيتحرك في اتجاه واحد. يبقى الانسر بتاعتي هتبقى what from one direction. So here we can answer why. هقول له because they can move forward or what or backward, not upward or downward. يبقى هنا لما يجي يقول لي هو this object moves in one direction يعني في اتجاه واحد، فانا بقول له ان هو بيتحرك forward للامام and backward للخلف، لا ليس او not upward or downward. As we have here a question, so we have another point in this lesson as we talk about the speed. زي ما احنا شايفين احنا بنتكلم على السرعة بقى. We have a difference, a big difference between speed and motion as we have to know what is meant by speed. This player or players have, أو each one of them has its own speed. كل واحد فيهم للسرعة بتاعته. So speed here is what? Is change or distance covered. يعني هنا في مسافة بتكلم عليها. يبقى السبيد is what? Distance covered through time units. Or distance covered as time passes. Or distance covered مثلا in 1 second. So we have two factors affecting speed. حاجتين بيأثروا على السرعة. ايه هما؟ Number 1 distance. Number 2 time. So if we deal with the speed as mathematical rule, as we have here a magic triangle as we see in front of you, we have here number 1 V as speed is what? Is distance covered through time unit. So speed equal distance over time. And we have each one of them has more than one measuring unit. So here we have distance in our syllabus. We have two measuring units for distance, as we have meter or kilometer. And time we have two measuring units, as we have what and what. We have second and we have hour. Not minute. Minute is a measuring unit for time, but in our syllabus we have two measuring units for time are second and hour. But we have to deal with the measuring units of speed. So we have what and what here, as we have number 1 أيوة هقول له meter per second and kilometer per hour, as we have distance over time. يبقى meter per second زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا هنا كده اقول له او كيلومتر او ايه او كيلومتر per ايه per hour. So we have two measuring units for speed as meter per second. جبناها منين؟ لأنه قال لي زي ما احنا شايفين distance covered through time unit. You have any question, Mr. Wائل, in this point?
Before this point, what are the types of motion? You told us that the simplest type of motion.
Simplest type of motion, yes. We have many types of motion as we have here, dear students. We have circular motion, we have wave motion, we have periodic motion, as we studied before in first prep. خدناهم قبل كده في أولى إعدادي types of motion. But in this year we will study only one type of motion as simplest type of motion as motion in one direction. الحركة في اتجاه واحد, which means what? Body moves or go forward or backward. مش and backward. Going forward or backward. يعني بتحرك للأمام أو للخلف. As for we have many examples. The most famous one as motion of metro and motion of train considered as a motion or examples of motion in one direction. So we have to deal with only one type of motion as motion in one direction going forward or backward. لازم اكتب وراها only. Okay.
If you please, I want you to help me to explain just some point for our student how to make definition, how to make graph from the physical equation.
تمام.
This physical equation is V equal D over T. Can you help me to show it?
تمام. Okay. So we have here, as we see on the monitor, please, we have speed equal distance over time. Okay, and we have two factors affecting speed. عندنا حاجتين بيأثروا في السرعة, distance والtime. So how can we firstly, before we going through the graphical representation of speed, we have many types of speed, but we should know here the relation between speed, distance, and speed with time. The relation between speed and distance here, العلاقة ما بين speed و distance هتبقى directly proportional. Directly proportional. يعني when speed increase, the distance will increase also. يبقى the relation between speed and distance is directly what? Proportional. But we have to know the relation between speed and time. Here we have another relation between speed and time as we have inversely proportional. Inversely proportional. Which means what? As we have here, when speed increases, the time decreases and vice versa. يعني as we have here, we have one up and one down as we studied before in mathematics in primary stage. يبقى أنا عندي هنا اهوت ال V كده كده هتبقى over كام؟ over 1. Okay, as we know in mathematics. So we have the relation between speed and distance are what? Directly proportional. At the same time, we have to know the relation between speed and time is inversely proportional. We have here give reason for, as we have two types of give reason for أو ممكن نكتبهم مع بعض. Number one بيقول لي give reason for. Number one, the relation between speed. We have a phone caller?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a phone. Hello? Logine?
أيوة.
اتفضلي يا لوجين. Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your question.
Go on.
Okay. It's in the book. It is said that when the car moves with constant speed, so the acceleration is equal to 0.
Acceleration. Okay. You, Lujine, you know what is meant by acceleration?
Yeah.
What is meant by acceleration, Lujine?
It is the rate of change of speed.
Change in speed through time unit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when the body moves with uniform speed, the speed is changed.
No.
So
So the acceleration is 0, right?
Yes. يبقى the
So-
acceleration equals 0 because the speed doesn't change.
Okay. So
What's
there is a question
Yeah.
which said a car moves at a regular speed, takes 5 seconds to cover 100 meters.
تمام.
Then the driver applies on the brake, so it takes 2 seconds to stop after 20 minutes.
تمام.
So 20 meters.
تمام.
Okay. What is the value of acceleration at which the car moves during the first 100 meters?
Okay. So Lujine, here we have V1 equal how many?
V1 equals 0.
V1 equal 0. هو start from مثلا from rest. هو كان واقف واتحرك ولا
هو
كان
ما
بيتحرك؟
جابش اي حاجه في السؤال ليها علاقه بانه كان واقف
ايوه يبقى
واتحرك.
لازم احسب ايه الاول؟
سبيد
السبيد. طيب الديستانس عندي بكام؟
100.
100. اوكي. والتايم
5
5 وات؟
5 seconds.
5 seconds. اوكي.
Okay.
طيب يبقى هو اتحرك distance how many؟ 100 والتايم
105 so it will be 20 meters per second.
as V equal what?
20
20
meters per second.
per second. So here then this car will stop or will change its acceleration and this change its speed and the speed increase. حصل له ايه بعد كده؟
Then the driver applies the brake, so it will decelerate.
Decelerate. So the speed change decelerating motion in this case and the final speed equal how many? قال ان ستوب.
لا، مش-
قال انه ستوب في المسألة. طيب يبقى V2
أحسن
equal
من
كام؟
0.
0 meter per second. صح؟
Okay.
طيب التايم equal how many? Through how many seconds?
5.
5 seconds. هو قال لك ان هو cover 100 meters والتايم 5 seconds وانا حسبت V1 اللي هي الانيشال سبيد والفاينل سبيد قال ان هو ستوب. اوكي؟
Okay.
طيب يبقى هو عايز يحسب مين؟
هو عايز يحسب الاكسلريشن.
حلو. الاكسلريشن ايكوال وات؟ V2 minus
final speed minus initial speed over time.
over time. تقدري تحسبيها كده؟
اقدر احسبها تبقى 4.
طب يبقى صعبة؟
لا مش صعبة، بس هو انا كان سؤالي ان هو يعني هو regular speed، هو كان بيسأل في الاول the acceleration at which the car moves during the first 100 meters.
تمام.
فهو في first 100 meters يعني ما كانش فيه change of speed، فاحنا ليه عملنا كده بقى؟
طب ما هو قال لك بعد كده اوكي in the first 100 meters ان هو كان ماشي بريجولار سبيد. اوكي؟
اوكي.
then it used the brakes او car brakes to stop the car. صح؟
صح.
طيب يبقى لو انا لما استخدم الكار بريكس اللي هي الفرامل بتاعت العربيه عشان يوقف العربيه، يبقى هو كان ماشي بريجولار سبيد وبعدين ريجولار سبيد تشينج. تمام. طبعا هنا عندنا decelerating motion او decelerating او deceleration، يعني speed decreases through time unit. تمام. سو السبيد بقت ما بقت ريجولار سبيد تشينج، ما بقتش ريجولار سبيد، لان هو هنا يوز ذا كار او ذا كار بريكس تو ستوب ذا كار. يبقى خلى الفي 2 عندي بقت بايه؟
اوكي.
بكام؟
V2 بزيرو.
بزيرو.
اوكي.
طب انا عندي طبعا V2 ماينس V1. طيب V2 بزيرو، نخلي بالنا ماينس V1 هنا هوت الفاليو اللي هتطلع عندي هتبقى ايه؟ انا ما خدتش بالي بقى من الرقم اللي انت قلتيه، هيبقى بكام؟
اوكي. 0 minus 20 over 5 كده 4.
نيجاتيف
4.
4 ايه بقى؟ نيجاتيف 4. ايوه، نيجاتيف 4 متر بير سكند باور 2 او سكويرد، يعني هنا هو ديسلريتنج موشن او نيجاتيف اكسلريشن.
اوكي.
You have another question, Lujine?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
طبعا
This is a good question. It was in القليوبية Governorate 2016.
تمام. So here as we see, dear students, we have يعني you can ask us, me and Mr. وائل, any question in any part in the syllabus. مش شرط الليسن اللي احنا فيه، لو حد عنده اسئله في other points or other units or other lessons in this first term, especially in unit 1, اللي عنده اي اسئله can call us on the phone number او by the phone number on the screen as you see in front of you. طيب نرجع تاني للسؤال بتاعنا اللي هو كان بيقول relation between speed and time is inversely what? Inversely proportional. طيب هنا هو we can answer by what word. هنا relation between two quantities as we have speed and time. So inversely proportional هنا هي الانسر بتاعتي. And we know inversely proportional يعني when one of them increase the other will increase. يبقى اقول له because when speed increase or increases, the time decreases. And vice versa، والعكس بالعكس. طب افرضوا قال لي question give reason for. We can act with answer here as give reason. يعني هنعتبر الانسر ايه؟ give reason for. When speed increases the time decreases. اقول له the answer is the question here. اقول له the relation between speed and time is inversely proportional. يعني we have question and answer and we can exchange the position of each one of them طبعا to answer the other one as you see in front of you. Okay.
Yes, we can return back again to the physical equation V equal D over T.
Okay.
Because I wanna my students to know how to make definition themselves, not to depend in the book. Be positive, my students. You can make your definition. So let's return back again, please, and I'll explain it how to do it.
Okay.
V equal as you see on the monitor. Mr. Muhammad will help us.
طيب هنشوف دلوقتي مع بعض.
V equal
yes V D over T.
Yes, very good. Suppose that the denominator T equal 1. Mr. Muhammad, if T equal 1, so V equal what? If
So
T, yes.
So here we have V equal D over T from the magic triangle as we have. If we have T equal 1 or what? 1.
Just 1 second.
1 second.
So V equal
1. If we have T here equal 1 second for 1 hour whatever يعني. So here V equal D.
That's good.
يعني مثلا speed هنا 100 meters أو the body covered 100 meters in 1 second. So the speed becomes what? 100 meters per second. So here in this case we have to know the value, the number. أنا بتكلم على الرقم ده، هنا هيبقى هو الرقم ده. ليه؟ لأن relation هتبقى زي ما احنا اتفقنا مع بعض directly proportional. اتفضل.
Yes, this is the point. So if the denominator is 1, so the result, which is V here in this case, equal D. So I can make the definition. What is V? What is speed? It is distance. It equals distance. So velocity or speed here, speed is distance covered by moving object when the time equal 1. So our definition is speed is distance covered by moving object in 1 second. Generally, I can make my definition by supposing that denominator is 1. Okay?
Okay. So here, dear students, let's go to another point. As we see here, we have give reason for, another give reason in this point, as we have cars and the planes are provided with speedometer. Cars and the planes are provided with speedometer. وهنا معنى كلمة speedometer which means عداد السرعة. تمام. طبعا we have يعني very easy to answer this question. We have cars, planes, rockets, metro, train. Anyone from these objects have or has a speedometer. Why? ليه عنده speedometer? To measure the speed directly. عشان يقيس السرعة بطريقة مباشرة وسهلة. يبقى cars and planes are provided with a speedometer to measure the speed directly. As we have here, just we look at the speedometer in your car مثلا, taxi, whatever. So مثلا in this point as we have 40 here, لو هو عامل mark كده the pointer أو المؤشر على 40. So here we know the speed of this car or bus equal 40 kilometers per hour. So we measure the speed directly. يبقى أنا عرفت فايدة عداد السرعة. So let's go to move to another type or the types. اتفضل يا مستر.
Excuse me. Before this point, one day I was driving my car and the speedometer says that my speed is 90 kilometers per hour.
تمام.
But my son asked me, what's your speed, my dad, in seconds?
In meter per second.
Yes.
In meter per second.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many meters do you move in 1 second?
Yes. How many meters do you cover in 1 second? Yes. Here, dear students, as Mr. Wائل said, we have to convert from meter per hour, kilometer per hour to meter per second. ازاي نعمل conversion تحويل من kilometer per hour to meter per second. طبعا we know every kilometer contains 1,000 meters, and at the same time every 1 hour contains 60 minutes and each minute contains 60 seconds. So if you want to convert from kilometer to meter, we multiply with what? Multiply with 1,000. And if we want to convert from hour to second, we have no minutes in our curriculum. الميجرنج يونت بتاعت السبيد بتبقى كيلومتر per hour or meter per second. We have no minutes. So if you want to convert from what? From hour to second, we just multiply with 60 times 60. يعني لو جينا نشوفها كده مع بعض as problem مثلا أو number نشوفه مع بعض على المونيتور كده ونتكلم عليه. لو أنا عندي مثلا speed equal 50 kilometers per hour. Okay? I want to convert into meter per second. So we have 50 here as we want to convert kilometer into what? Into meter. And hour into what? Into second. So we here multiply with 1,000 over 3,600 by using calculator. تعالوا نشوفها كده مع بعض. 50 times 1,000 divide 3,600 equal how many? 13.8 or 13.9 approximately. 13.9 watts meter per second. We have another way, dear students, here to convert from kilometer per hour to meter per second. Just we simplify this number as we have 1,000 over 3,600. صح؟ واحد ممكن we have to simplify as we have 50. هناخد نفس النمبر 50 times 5 over 18. If we try to use this number, واحد يقول لي النمبر ده جبنا منين؟ This number is just we simplify 1,000 over 3,600. هيطلع نفس الرقم. يعني نجربها نجربها اهو. 50 times 5 over 18 تطلع بكام؟ ب 13.88 يعني برضو 13.9 متر بير سكند. يعني لو انا عايز اعرف السبيد in كيلومتر per hour change into meter per second سهل. طب some students maybe ask how can we convert from meter per second into kilometer per hour؟ العكس، just we exchange this sign multiply هنخليها divide. يعني مثلا لو انا عندي example هنا ممكن نقوله مع بعض. مثلا car moves with speed 30 meters per second. How can we convert into kilometer per hour؟ صح؟ اقول له تمام. We have two ways. صح؟ عندنا two numbers. طب تعالوا نستخدم الرقم السهل بقى. يبقى هقول له هنا from kilometer per hour to meter per second we multiply with 5 over 18. صح؟ طب from meter per second to kilometer per hour we divide over 5 over 18. واحد ممكن يقول لي طب ما انا اعملها multiply 18 over 5 as you like. المهم النمبر يبقى مظبوط. يبقى هقول له 30 divide 5 over 18. So here we have in watts. Yes, the answer in kilometer per watt per hour. تعالوا نشوفها مع بعض by using calculator. يبقى 30 divide 5 over 18 تطلع بكام؟ 8.3. تطلع بكام؟ 8.3 كيلومترز per hour. يبقى أنا هنا عرفت من كيلومتر per hour to meter per second as we see in the previous example, and at the same time we know from kilometer per hour to meter per second, and at the same time from meter per second to kilometer per hour. Okay.
Now let's go to the types of speech. We have two types of speech.
Yes.
Regular and irregular.
Irregular, yes.
Yes. What's the difference between them, Mr. محمد?
Okay, as Lujine asked me from the previous minutes, as we have to know constant speed, السرعة الثابتة, as speed of, for example, مثلا moon around the earth, earth around the sun. دي اسمها constant speed، سرعة ثابتة ما بتتغيرش. ما بتتغيرش. يبقى انا عندي هنا هو constant speed or uniform speed or regular speed. Constant, uniform or regular. Which means what? Speed which means distance covered through time unit. Okay. So at the same time if we want to deal with uniform speed we have to know body covered equal distances at equal periods of time. يبقى الجسم بيمشي مسافات متساوية في أزمنة متساوية. يبقى body covered equal distances at equal periods of time. طب لو جيت اتكلم على النون يونيفورم اللي هي irregular I double R وبعدين regular يبقى I double R عشان نفتكر مع بعض اللي هي non uniform speed. Body covered unequal distances at equal periods of time or body covered equal distances but in unequal periods of time. One of them equal and the other is unequal. واحد يقول لي طب ما نخليهم الاثنين unequal. اقول له يبقى احنا كده بنهرج. ليه؟ Because we have to make one of them from the two factors affecting the speed constant and the other is variable or changeable to deal or to act with non-uniform speed. يبقى انا عندي uniform speed which means constant speed. عشان في ناس يقول لك constant يعني واقف at rest. لا, constant speed which means uniform speed or regular speed as the speed of light in the space or on the earth اللي هو الضوء مثلا. دي برضو constant speed يعني سرعة ثابتة. يعني ايه ثابتة؟ يعني move with uniform or regular speed. As we have here on the monitor we have uniform speed and the non-uniform speed. فلما يجي يقول لي what is meant by uniform هقول له object that covers what? Equal distances in equal periods of time. يعني بيمشي مسافات متساوية في أزمنة متساوية. How can we deal with this يعني definition as what? As graphical representation. Graphical what? Representation. With a straight line as you see passes through the origin point. A straight line passes through the origin point. اكتبها هقول له هنا straight line passes through origin ايه؟ point. يعني ايه origin point؟ يعني نقطة الأصل اللي هي فين؟ اللي هي دي. طب give reason for in uniform speed the graphical representation is a straight line or is represented by a straight line passes through the origin point. أقول له because definition body covers equal distances at equal periods of time. On the other side we have non-uniform اللي هي غير منتظمة اللي هي اسمها irregular اللي هي هنتعامل معها ازاي؟ non-uniform speed زي ما احنا شايفين كده مع بعض. اقول له بقى هنا object that covers what? unequal distances in equal periods of time or vice versa. اعكسها براحتك. واحد يقول لي هنا هو مثلا in this point equal distances نخليها equal but in unequal periods of time. One of them is equal and the other is unequal. And how can we represent this relation between distance and time in non-uniform speed or irregular speed, as we have two axes, as we have here distance and here we have time. Okay, so we have, as you see, what line هنعملها كده as a curved line or zigzag line passes برضو through what? The origin point, نقطة الأصل. Why? هقول له definition because the body covers equal distance in unequal periods of time or vice versa.
Let me explain this graph, please. This graph, or the two graphs, distance time graph. Why we put D on Y? This is for our new viewers, our new students for this episode. D is on Y. T is always on x-axis. Why? Because I can't change time. I can't control time. It's independent physical quantity, independent factor. So always we put independent factor, that means the factor that I can't change it, I can't control it, on x axis. But on y axis I put the dependent factor. Dependent factor means it changes by changing the independent factor. By changing the time, distance changes. So I have to put distance as dependent factor on y. Always I put d on y and t on x. This is the reason. And another way for some students, if this relationship is dividing, I must put d up and t down.
Okay, so here from the relation between the distance and time, we know how can we know the types of speed as uniform and non-uniform speed. And we have d-axis, time axis, distance over time, يبقى distance, d-axis, and time is the other axis. And we have a straight line passes through the origin point in uniform speed, and curved line passes through the origin point برضو in non or irregular speed. Here we have another give reason for dear students. تعالوا نشوفوا مع بعض. It's hard to measure زي ما احنا شايفين a regular or uniform speed practically. من الصعب عمليا practically هنا يعني عمليا to measure the uniform speed or regular speed practically. Why? طبعا we can't move all the time with regular speed. ما ينفعش امشي بسرعه منتظمه طول الوقت. طبعا هنا هقول له due to traffic motion بسبب حركه الطريق لان انا مش ماشي لوحدي. يبقى هنا لما يقول لي it's hard تمام or difficult to measure regular or uniform or constant speed directly practically sorry هقول له due to traffic what motion بسبب حركة الطريق because maybe we try to cross the road, maybe we try to move upstairs or downstairs. طبعا هنا مش مقصود الطريق اللي هو the street or the road only, مقصود بيها at your home طبعا, at your school or at your club, في أي مكان أنا مش بتحرك لوحدي with other objects. So here we can't deal or we can't measure the regular or uniform speed practically أو واقعيا أو عمليا. Okay, the next point here we have to know what is meant by average speed. يعني ايه average speed؟ طبعا average speed معناها اللي هي السرعة المتوسطة. We deal or we use average speed when the body moves with non-uniform speed. لما الجسم بيتحرك ب non-uniform speed we try to measure its speed by using average speed. Okay, so here we have what is meant by average speed. Average speed which means what? As total distance covered. كل المسافات اللي هو مشيها over or dividing by the total time taken. Total time taken يعني كل الأزمنة اللي هو أخدها. يبقى average speed total distance covered divided by total time taken. As we have average speed here we have V dash. Average speed is V dash as total distance over total time. We have here a problem. عندنا مسألة to explain how can we deal with يعني زي ما احنا شايفين average speed. بيقول لي هنا هو problem. A body covers 20 meters northward through 3 seconds. Then covered 40 meters eastward شرقا 2 seconds. Then covered 20 meters southward جنوبا 4 seconds. Then covered 10 meters westward غربا 5 seconds. Calculate its average speed. In this case we should is not obligation هنا مش إجباري يعني بس we should draw a draft to explain or represent these directions. الاتجاهات دي كلها زي ما احنا شايفين كده. هو قال لي ان هو moves طبعا مش شرط برولر ممكن by your hand. Moves northward شمالا what 20 meters in 3 seconds. Then moves eastward شرقا what here 40 meters in 2 seconds. Then moves southward جنوبا what 40 meters in 4 seconds. Then moves what eastward يعني غربا what 10 meters in 5 seconds. How can we calculate the average speed in this case? هقول له زي ما احنا شايفين قدامنا average speed V dash equal total distance over total time. طبعا total distance equal how many؟ هجمع كل الديستانسز اللي احنا شايفينها قدامنا تمام. هتبقى 20 plus 40 plus 20 طبعا plus 10 over 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 واطلع in meter per second. Okay.
So let's go in a break. Just
Okay.
Just a small break. Sure. Okay.